everybody. Welcome to another episode of Making It. My name is Kennan Cooley, and
I'm Alvin Chea. We're so excited to be here with you today. We have an amazing thing. So this show is called Making It, talks about what it takes to make it in this business. We got probably about 60 years between us, so we can tell you every angle.
Whoa. Hold on. Back
what?
up. 60 years?
I'm just
if you
trying
want
to
to take
be
like
candid.
40, I'll take a 20, but otherwise.
I'm just trying to be transparent. The real deal.
I need you to cloud up a little bit. Cloud it up.
Okay, 20 years between the two of us.
Right, that's much better.
Yeah.
You have 8 and I have 2.
So we have some incredible things we want to talk to you about today. Can't wait.
Yeah, we can't wait. We have incredible guests as well. So today we're going to be talking to Sylver Logan Sharp and Daryl Hunt. They're a married couple, but they also are very talented in their own right. And we want you to know that without their industry expertise, you guys will not know how much you're going to miss until you hear our interview. True.
Let's get into it. I can't wait. It's going to be exciting. Power couple.
Power couple. Powerful by themselves and powerful together. So
that's right.
Without further ado, here's Sylver Logan Sharp and Daryl Hunt.
What's up, y'all?
Hey, you guys.
Hey. Daryl and Sylver. I love it. Right in the sandbox. They're creating right now. I love it.
They are the power couple of the century.
I love it.
Yes.
What's up?
Nothing.
Welcome.
What's up with you?
Welcome.
Made it. Thank you for adjusting. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I was
No problem.
stressed earlier, but thank you. So
No, it's better to be busy in this business. Trust me, you never have to apologize. Sorry, but no sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
is this enough light? Are we okay, or do we need to tighten up?
Oh,
That's
yeah,
better
up
right
is
there.
better.
Okay.
Up is
That's better
better.
right there. Yeah.
I would love, if we had the time, we don't have the time, I would love for you to take this camera to both of y'all's closet, because you guys are some fashionista war horses, and your closet must be out of control.
I'm just saying, wait, what? Huh? Oh, you can't even see all of this.
No, I see you.
Got this in Africa, brother.
I see.
Yeah.
We will have some lessons later. That'll be the entertainment industry lessons on how to be chic with chic.
I hear you.
I love it.
I got some gap action going. You all the way from the motherland. I love it.
You know it.
Yeah.
And I just, went in down, put on some leopard.
Hey, so you guys, let's jump right into it. So I don't know where to start because both of you guys are amazing in your own right and together. So I'll just start with you, Sylver. We know you've been, one of the things I know, at least, and most people know, is that you were with Chic for over 20 years, and you've done so many other things since. I just want you to give a background to what you've done and what you're doing, and what you plan on doing.
Wow. Okay. Let's see if I can wrap that up real quick. I kind of have a before Chic and after Chic, an AC and a BC. Okay, I know it's kind
Okay.
But before Chic, I came from the halls of Duke Ellington School of the Arts here in Georgetown,
Great school.
and I went straight from there. And I was working and actually singing on local go-go records with the late Al Johnson, CJ's
Nice.
crew, Doc Pearson, some producers here in the area that really sort of took me under their wing. And they were the creme de la creme at the time of doing things like that and making kind of, good love song, R&B stuff and, things like that. So I was in the right place at the right time,
Right.
with the right people, and landed on some really great projects before I even knew kind of what was happening. You know what I'm saying? But my humble beginnings come from, my mother was a dance teacher and she's still a singer and she plays piano, although she would never play in front of you. But, she, first bird at church, all that. So, so it's in my DNA and it's been my surroundings my whole life. It was nurtured as a young person. So I never heard get a real job. I never heard you can't do this. It just wasn't done. And if I said, well, I want to take guitar lessons, she said, okay, well, find out how much, where, who's the teacher,
Right.
Where do you get the guitar, thinking I probably wouldn't do it.
Right.
Of course, I'd come back and say, well, the lessons are $20 an hour.
Right.
She'd be like, okay, guitar lessons. And so for flute lessons, and so for violin, for piano lessons, and dance. Now, dance I was in because she was a dancer. Right. So I really have been
Was that your first love?
That was, yeah. I started dancing before anything else, darling. I have wonderful lines. But yeah, and I didn't really take singing seriously until I got to and one Edward Jackson, who is he is passed on now, but one of the greatest vocal coaches ever, you know, helped to groom me and my voice, and you know, the reason that I am able to survive as a vocalist and singer to this day. And so saying all that to say that I went through the schoolings of Gene Carn and through Deanna Williams and just got to work with some really great people, the late Nathan Heathman, all kind of really wonderful people that, you know, sometimes even when you don't know your steps are ordered.
Yeah.
Because I didn't at the time, but for whatever reason, I just, you know, was in the right place at the right time with the right people to say, hey, you know, wait a minute, she got a little something going on. Come here.
Right.
You know,
Sylver, that speaks to a lot of things though, because you still had to have the talent. Sure. And you still had to believe that that could become something, because a lot of people let their talents waste and kind of, they know they can do something, but they don't move and take those steps. Yeah. What made you decide, you know, to take the steps to go sing, and, you know, what made you feel like you had something to go forward with?
Wow. I don't think you know, that's a good question. I realized that, well, let me just say this. I think my mother was very much, in my family, even though I come from a family of educators, my grandfather was a college president, they all have degrees up the wazoo. She was very, you know, don't waste nobody's time. And do what you're good at. And if you have to take several classes, several courses, this, that, a boop, to get the education that you need to do what it is that you want to do, then do that. Right. Do it for real. Yeah. Don't play.
Well, even though you're not going the education route, you still have to be disciplined in your approach to get where you need to go.
And nothing else will do. Yeah. So if you don't do it, you better be good at it.
Do it.
And you better work it, and because you don't want me to do your taxes, but I can count my money and I sign out, you know, and I'm smart enough to have a tax accountant that can do my taxes.
Right.
Wow. So I wanted to jump across to your power partner here. So many powerful women intimidate men. Oh, and you guys are, I mean, a match. It's so wonderful to see you guys conquer the world together. Now you see this completely completed woman on stage. What is it that you knew that you could bring to the relationship and to the partnership?
Wow, that's
a lot of guys would be like, I ain't even going around that. You don't need me.
You know what's interesting?
Yeah, let's see.
I knew that. No, she was incredible. And actually, the first time I saw her wasn't even with Chic. I saw her in '95, Yolanda Adams.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, okay.
And I was already playing with Yolanda from '91, but I was touring Germany, and I was just coming back. And I was like, who is that?
I
and
got
at
you.
That time, I didn't have the courage and everything that I had a few years later to talk to her.
You didn't have the swag quite all there together.
Right. But it was.
She made you sweat. She made you sweat. Is that what you're saying?
I didn't see her until like about 5 years later after that date.
We didn't meet 5 years later.
Oh, wow.
2000.
Oh, you saw her, but then you met her.
I saw her, and it was crazy because when I saw her the second time, I had a different mindset. I was really I went through a lot of things that really broke me down, and I was at the point of coming back up where I just knew what I had to offer as a musician, as a God, and all those different things. And it's like, you know what? For me, I was actually moving to LA at the time when I met her. Yeah. And I was about to go to USC. I was going to do film scoring. I finished everything at Howard, and
I was just coming back from being in LA and getting
out. Wow! 2 ships passing in the night.
And it's crazy. We met at this rehearsal where we were doing Aretha Franklin's birthday party.
Yeah.
Wow. Nice place to meet.
But I was finishing up and doing my senior recital, so I came late. Saw her sitting there.
And I was just there because they wanted me to do the gig, but I had just come. They were like, well, just come to rehearsal. Just come to rehearsal, please. I was like,
ordered. You didn't know what was going on. Your steps were ordered.
No.
It was really ordered.
Well, I had because I was fighting it like the plague. Yeah. Nobody knew I was back in town. I was hiding. You know.
She came out of a bad relationship. I came out of a relationship months prior that was terrible. But I was teaching at Howard at the time, and the lady that I was dating had to take my class to pass.
Oh, whoa.
Yes. Yeah. So it was interesting.
A lot going on.
There was a lot going on, but it sort of helped me really figure out who I was and what I would tolerate. And you know what? When I saw Sylver 5 years later in that rehearsal, I had the same reaction.
Whoa.
And I was like, Lord, I'm not even going to talk to her. But if she steps to me, it's on. Right?
So is that what happened? She stepped to you?
From that point, so I knew everybody in the room. There were some heavy DMV cats in the room. Choice, Al Johnson, Sweet Cherie. You know, it was the players were in the room.
Right.
And he walks in with this Kurzweil keyboard under his arm. He sets it up. And
about 40 minutes late.
Al Johnson hands him, the late Al Johnson hands him this stack of charts, and Daryl opens it and he says, "Okay, count it off." And he just plays.
I heard that.
I said, "Okay." Now, and it wasn't like, "Oh, who's that?" It was like, "Okay, wait a minute, that's does that?
That's another level."
I don't know where he come from.
Right.
I knew everybody in the room except him, and so after the rehearsal, I was like, "Wow, you know." I saw that, you know, and he was like, "Can I have your number?" I was like,
I heard that. That is awesome.
And I made a pact with God. I was really going to start fresh. I was done with the East Coast. I was about to move to the West Coast.
Yeah.
And I wanted to, you know, take a chance out there. A lot of my friends that were living in LA was like, we're going to start Daryl Hunt Fund for you to come out here, because with you being able to, you know, do orchestrations, for you to be able to do all the things that you're playing stylistically, you would fit in great over here and get in.
I love it.
I was almost there.
It was supposed to be.
There.
Hey, but Daryl, you know what you have yet? I mean, we've kind of gotten a hint. Can you tell us about you? Tell us what, you know, your skills are and your experience and all that.
Right. So it's funny. I almost would say musically, I would say I was sort of the Forrest Gump sort of guy. I would appear in these different situations. And it was really because I didn't have scholarships or anything at the time. At how they sort of messed it up. So I was taking any musical job. So I was there learning all this stuff, sight reading for all the musical theater students 1 second, sight reading for all the classical voice students, then working with the jazz students. So that really sort of honed that in. We started this thing called a jazz vocal workshop, and it was based off of what y'all were doing. Vinny, it was really off of everything that Take Six really brought to the table. So we were trying to do the whole vocal harmonies. I was trying to transcribe all the stuff y'all were doing. And so for me, a lot of the jobs I got was for transcribing, for scoring, for just playing in different genres.
And there's not many of us who can do that. That's amazing.
And I didn't know that. It was out of necessity. Yeah. Really crazy. So
can you imagine that is out of necessity?
It was.
Yeah. That's amazing.
School. I was trying to graduate and I kept leaving and coming back. So when I finished at Howard, and see, the thing is, I kept telling Yolanda wanted me to come out on the road, but I wanted to really finish. And I had started school early, but then I ended late, years later, because I kept leaving to come back.
To tour and all that
to tour and everything like that. So skill set wise, it's crazy. I always thought that the way I had to prepare was learning all the parts, doing this so I can know it cold. Because the people that I was working with were the Yolandas, were the Roberta Flacks, and people like that, which I ended up becoming music director.
Right.
All of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so it's like I had to know all of that.
Yeah.
Inside and out. And I just thought everyone did that.
Yeah. And quiet as it's kept, because you jumped in and jumped out, or jumped in and jumped out, that was probably the best education.
Yeah.
You had to learn it, apply it, bring it back. Yep. Okay, academic, jump back, bring it back.
Yep.
Well, you know, that's one of the things that Alvin and I talk about a lot, is that, you know, how you have to be flexible in this industry. You cannot think that just because this is where I started, this is where I'm going to end up, because the industry changes, especially like now, you know, but the industry changes all the time and things evolve. And if you're not evolving with it, you're going to be left behind. So
exactly.
I applaud both of you guys for always being flexible, staying fresh, keeping yourself.
I have to say something flexible. I have to say something about that.
Okay.
I also was over at Union Temple, which is the blackest church ever. Union Temple Baptist was so blackety black that also the pastor of that church was in charge of the Million Man March with Farrakhan. They were close.
Wow.
That's
black.
They have a black Jesus.
Boys.
They have a black Jesus like this.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Mural in there. And the disciples, like Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, you know, Rosa Parks, and
Power to the people, my brother.
Yeah,
right.
It was literally. So I went from that. Speaking of flexibility, I went from being part of that for the last 16 years to getting a call to be the music director of contemporary worship at Washington National Cathedral. So, which is like polar.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow.
So speaking on the flexibility, in the meantime, still being the music director over at my home church, which is Community Grace Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Right.
So y'all just we just aired something that you sang last Sabbath too.
Yes, for CPC. I can't remember what it was, but we did shoot it.
Family.
You know what's funny? All of these. If I turn this camera around to show you my virtual studio, you would crack up. It is about being flexible and adjusting.
All I see are Grammys.
I know, right? I'm like, okay, well, we have a plaque. Ours is on the wall.
Right.
But that's so much cooler. That's so much cooler.
So Sylver, you breathe and you live the energy that I can tell that you get from the crowd. You are a performer's from your do and your drag and your. I mean, you are made for the stage. There's no stage now.
Yeah.
This pandemic's got us hemmed up. How are you breathing? How are you making it?
When I tell you, when I dress up and go, come on,
like,
get you the piano right now. You know, we keep the piano by the bed.
Right.
I love it. I love it.
You know, well, what's the one thing that is wonderful is that before all this happened, in an effort to stay connected, we created a show called Feel Better Friday.
Right.
Where all of our rock star friends who come through Washington, D.C. and the DMV area to perform in their gigs and whatnot come through. It's like an interview performance.
I love it.
We never say who the guest is, so people have to watch to see who the guest is. And everybody from Eric Roberson, Najee, Mason.
Mark Hibble.
Right. I know I can't afford the rest of y'all. I'm working on it. I'm working on the rest of it. But you know, everybody came through. I mean, everybody. It's just, and it grew into a television show that's on local TV here.
Oh, nice.
Wonderful.
PCTV and soon to be in PG County on Mount Rainier Television. So you can't tell me that I'm not on OWN. But I'll take it. But so
you're getting there.
I'm getting there, and to be honest, I was going, okay, God, what's next?
Yeah.
You know, there's the gig thing. There's the festivals and all of that, which I was doing, and then this happened. So what's wonderful is that I have a lot of shows in the can, and we've been able to re-air our shows to keep somewhat of a presence online. I'm not taping any new shows, but I at least have that. However, that only lets me breathe for a half hour on Friday, right?
Right.
The rest of the time right now, I have been able to work on new music that I've not been able to get to because Daryl has been our studio is in our space. He doubles as my engineer, hey, let me bounce some ideas. Hey, I got something, come here, let me hum this to you real quick and put it down. And when he's writing 17 charts for any particular week of music, there's no even having that conversation, let alone carving out time to physically do something. So his schedule didn't stop, but it changed in a way that it gave me a little more time. And I kind of went, okay, you can't gig, but you can still write and you can finish these songs that you haven't been able to do. So cut everything off and get into the zone.
And do you.
And because it takes a second to want to manifest something else because then there's how it's going to get out there and how it's going to get played and who's paying for the videos and the this and the that. when you're an independent artist. With thank
Absolutely.
God, I'm grateful.
A whole bunch of us now. Yeah.
But it ain't for punks.
No, it's not a game.
It's not.
Hustle is real.
It ain't a game.
Right.
You
So
know what?
I
But
was
that brings up a good point,
encouraged.
Sylver.
You know, I'm sorry.
I was saying that brings up a good point though that you're talking about, because you're saying, I heard you say the word independent artist.
Yeah.
And you know, for years you were a part of a group,
Yeah.
and now you're on your own. And you know, I hear you saying how much of a different mindset you have to have, but you still have to work and you still have to do everything, a lot of things on your own shoulders, but you still have to make it happen. And I think that a lot of people really take that for granted. You know what I mean? Can you speak about how you had to transition from being, like, say, a part of a group and being managed into almost managing yourself and having your own
What's interesting
responsibilities?
my situation in Chic is that on the one hand, while what is perceived to the audience as a band and a group and this, that, and the third, when you're in a group with producers of that stature,
Yeah.
and you are the second wave of, you know, of their legacy, for lack of a better description, you're kind of a work for hire with maybe some perks.
Mm-hmm.
That in itself, which a lot of people don't understand what that really means. When you're an original member of a group with the success of, like, a Take Six, and even they have a member who's in or out that's not an original, you know, it's a different game.
Absolutely.
When you come into a group that is already established, branded, multiple hits, regardless of, you know, which Nile Rodgers and the late Bernard Edwards completely fall into. You know, they're made examples of how things are done in music manuals. So unlike probably a lot of situations, becoming the lead singer of Chic was the most that I got of it was to re-record their classic hits and then record new songs with my take on it. They really allowed me to, you know, now I would be like, okay, you ready for some ad-libs? I'm like, are you ready for some ad-libs?
For the silver touch on it, right?
Tracks, boo.
I was born ready, honey.
Listen, I'm sorry. I remember the first day when I was auditioning, right? And the Deanna Williams, personally, she and Niall were on a plane together. And they had auditioned 70, 80 girls already, and it just wasn't working out. And Niall was talking to Deanna, and he's like, you know, I need a girl. She needs blah, 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 blah. And she said, well, do you know Sylver? And he's like, who? It's Sylver. You know, she sings with Gene. She lives in D.C. He's like, no, but get her. Let me see her. Okay. She calls me at the crack of dawn. Syl, wake up. I need to talk to you. It's Deanna. I'm like, okay, what's going on? She's like, Chic. You remember Chic? And I'm like, yeah. You mean that Chic? Yeah. Right. Well, they're putting, you know, back together. This is your gig. You're perfect for this, right? Yeah, when can you get to? So she's like, we're just getting off a plane. We'll call you back in a few hours, blah, blah, blah. They get situated. They call me back. I am packed, face beat, snatch, pull, ready to go. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just waiting for the phone call, but I'm ready. Okay, so she now is on the phone, and excuse my language, but he literally said, so I hear you're the shit. And I said, well, yeah.
Speaking.
Right.
And that's exactly what he said. I swear, that's exactly what he said. And I said, well, we're putting Chic back together. We're signed to Warner Brothers. You know, when can you get here? I said, I'm ready. And then back then, you could catch a shuttle every half hour from National Airport to New York. Yeah. Like that. Yeah. Every half hour on airlines.
I remember.
All day, you could catch a shuttle. For like $300 round trip. And that was with, you know, in business class, you know what I mean? And so that's exactly what did. They flew me in. I was picked up. I was brought to Skyline Studios at the time in downtown New York. Yeah. Sure, you know. Yeah. And I walked in, and Niall and Bernard's little heads were peeking out of the little circular. Port. Right. You know what I'm talking about. They're looking out, going, And they come out and they said, well, if you can sing half as good as you look.
I heard that.
Right.
Trust me, I went hair down to there, boots up to here. I was not playing. And I went in, and everything they told me to sing, I sang, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
I love it.
And the next thing you know, they said, well, in the talk back, Sylver, could you give us a few ad-libs? I said, Roll the track. Those ad-libs are on that record to this day.
Nice.
Really?
The rest is
One
history.
take.
You know, it's a track called My Love's For Real. And as Chic isn't really that record. And it was the right time, the right moment. I was what they needed.
Yeah.
Because I was somebody who had what they needed, but I was just young enough and just ready to work and ready to take direction and ready to be, you know, okay, we're styling you in this. And then I even ended up taking that over. I was like,
okay, now jump forward for me. I love all of this. I love all of this.
Sorry, I can go on and on.
No. But the transitions are what do it for me.
Transition.
When you're in there, it is good. That's great. But like this pandemic stuff, transition. The beginning of Chic, transition. Now when you're in it, you've been gigging 20 years, and you're like,
Right. No.
When did you know it was time for you to unchic?
Unchic, okay.
That's a good one. I knew when it started to get a little divided, and I'm as politically correct as possible.
No, I'm with you.
What I mean by that, and I'm gonna be a bit frank because it's my story to tell, and it's not to throw anyone under the bus, but there comes a point at which either they're going to get under you and help you flourish because you just are,
right,
or it's time to go. And after 19.99 years of never missing a gig, never being unavailable, dropping everything, no matter what they call it,
their dream.
For their dream, they did not then make me an offer that would keep me from pursuing mine.
I heard that. I got you. I'm with you.
So it's like, okay, Syl, what you gonna do? And it was about to get funky.
Yeah.
It was about to get real, real different, and I have been very fortunate to be, when I worked with Jean Carn, to this day, she's like one of my godmother, auntie, mommy types. You know what I'm saying? There were rules that I learned and classiness that I learned and things that I learned. And the mentorship that has been around me 90% of my career, I don't take for granted. So when it starts to smell a little funky,
believe it.
Things start to be put out there that ain't really, it's like, well, wait a minute now. Wait, when this happened? Wait, what's going on? Then it's time to make a different decision. Yeah. Because that's not why we do this. Right. So it did not go it didn't go south. It was, okay.
The precipice.
Yes, it was like, okay, you know what? Yeah, we should, here's what we're doing now. Do you want to be down, or if you don't, it's cool. Yeah. But we're going to do this. And so that was my opportunity to either stay based on, well, if I'm going to stay, how about this is where I am with it now? Right. Or you ready?
Totally.
Jump off the train.
I totally got you.
God is going to work it out and create opportunities. We put out 2 solo CDs since then. We've produced videos since then. We've got our, production company and studio set up and everything, so that I can make a full record and never leave my apartment. And between his mixing, mastering, and all those skills. So it definitely put us in a position to get independent right. And that is a huge learning curve.
That was out of necessity.
Right.
Yeah.
Necessity.
But it also speaks to the fact that when it's your destiny to do something, like, you and Daryl have both brought up, the things that kind of took you to another place each time. But I do think that when your destiny is speaking inside of you, you outgrow the space that you're not supposed to stay in. So it really is not about, things getting funky or, bad blood or whatever. It was just, it's time to grow and time to move. And this is not, I've grown in this garden as long as I can.
Yeah, that's a lot. And even that is a lot of I don't necessarily mean funky and just it's about to go completely south, because so I talked to Niall not a week ago. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Me when the new Sylver has to take a break.
Right.
No one else to call.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I go back when I'm available. I go back, and say, hey, I can sleep. I don't even get rehearsal. They just throw me in because it's just my choreography, which is a beautiful thing. So
but you exited at the right time, and it was a wise decision to exit at the right time instead of forcing it.
It's important to me to maintain a honest, but civil and cordial,
Right.
an important relationship with Nile.
That is, yeah.
So that was life-changing for
In
me.
this business, you can't burn bridges.
Cannot.
Right.
And Nile is, I mean, he's who he is. We have the Robertas, we have several, Yolandas and several people like that have made a difference in our career. They were a part of the journey. So they will always have our respect and admiration. And a lot of, and what I'm talking about is I'm talking about Funky, wasn't necessarily that, other things.
Right.
Amongst the camp, because it's a big organization. But it's things that say, you know what, before anything gets really weird and crazy, while it's good and while, you have a blessing, you get your little package and jump off into world and
it's
just
time.
Keep it moving.
Absolutely.
It's time. Now, Daryl, for you as producer hat, hubby hat, engineer hat, all of those things you're seeing, when stuff started getting a little weird, was your first instinct to advise as hubby, producer, we got to make this bottom line, make this nut? How did you come, or how did you support?
Okay, so I feel like our personal and professional, even though we try to keep it separate, is so intertwined that I did it as the husband / advisor, manager type.
Right.
Because I had to sort of really take a step back, because she advised me on a few things as well. Let me go back. In the beginning, when we first started dating, Niall asked me to come in and be one of his producers.
Whoa.
Wow.
She had to have enough sense to be like, okay, there's certain things we need to still keep separate.
It's right.
It's not weird if she left and I'm still there.
Right.
Right.
I got your gig, baby.
Right. So,
and it was for production, and
it was for
and
production,
the back when Pro Tools was just coming.
Right.
So fast forward, even when she left, I was really taking the stance of it's about time. Because as her music director as well, there were dates that we had to let go because she would do a date with Chic, and sometimes doing other people's, living in other people's dreams aren't as fulfilling for you, even though you're giving all that.
Right. It's never enough.
Right.
Right.
So as a husband, I have to embrace her being frustrated.
Right.
You have to embrace her, and just, it's crazy because she was the only person that was listed as the lead vocalist of Chic. Everyone else was, just like gang vocals or the latest. But she was put out there as the lead vocalist. And when I've gone to the shows, she did a lot of the talking. She was so everyone really knew who Sylver Logan Sharp was.
For as much as you can in a group.
And it's crazy.
Oh, absolutely. I get it.
Your name, it kind of gets smeared a little bit. I know you understand.
Absolutely.
Still ask about her solo project and just different things like that. And I feel like that would have been a great opportunity for them, being the producers that they were, to take and push that further. I feel like I didn't have the sort of leverage, but I was really ready to support in any way possible. So I think it crossed a few lines. It covered all of the lines. It was put out with me. And, I don't want to say this like a sign thing, but me being a Virgo situation, I'm sort of very, and that's just sort of how it comes across. And sometimes it might even come across as callous. And I'm just like, yeah, we should have done that a while ago. And she'd be like, really? So.
But, we try to keep a balance because, for example, we don't do the, you better not do that gig. We don't do that to each other. We don't decide what the other one should do. We might weigh in. We might say, now remember, the last time you worked with them, you came back mad.
Right.
The last time you worked with them, they were late. They didn't do this. They didn't do that. Yeah. Or the last time you worked with them, it was great. It might not have even been a big money gig, but you had such a good time.
Right.
That you can't wait to work with them again. So it's a different, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
your spirit was served.
Yeah. Right now, though, even to speak about what's going on right now, it is so difficult. It is so difficult to not be able to connect. It's not the same virtually. It's an opportunity. You can see comments. You can't hear them.
Right.
You know, you can't,
really
you know, you'd be like, let
energy.
me hear y'all sing it.
Right.
Oh, right. Singing,
right
you know?
at the computer.
Yeah, at the computer. And it's so weird. I'm glad that we have the technology. I'm glad that we can just push a live button. I am so stoked that I'm sitting here talking to you guys right now that we can do this. But at the same point, it's like, they need to figure it out, because even when all the numbers stop or whatever, our whole bane of the existence is to be in front of people too.
Absolutely. Our lifeblood.
That's the whole, I mean, I still get taken out by songs when they go in. I'm like, oh Lord, oh Lord. Whew. I mean, and there's certain artists, certain groups, certain songs that it's the magic, and it reminds me why I do it. And when people say it to me, Sylver, I love that song, or you know, every time you do this, blah, 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 you can't pay for that.
There's nothing like being live and in person, nothing. I mean, you can watch all day on YouTube and whatever, but live and in person is that vibe that's between the artist and the audience.
We got to a point of, we were doing dates at this spot called Bohemian Caverns in DC.
Sure.
Okay, yeah, that's
following. So we had 2 CDs out, but people would be like, we want to hear number 9. They were literally calling out
number 9.
Wow.
And I'd be like, what is number 9?
Number 9?
Somebody give me a CD.
You don't know.
Looking at the CD like, oh, yeah, that song.
And put it on repeat.
Right. And it was something, it was, you know, and you don't realize, you know, people know, you know, for the other stuff that you do.
Right.
They don't always know about your own thing.
Right.
And so it's something when people know about your songs.
It's your itch is being scratched and appreciated.
Yeah, it's different kind
and that's a real cool thing that 2 performers can appreciate. You have another level of connection that a businessman and an artist won't ever get to. They won't ever get to. I love that.
And we kind of have a rule. I remember early in the game, we were working with a production team here. And, you know, we had gotten friendly with them. They had some great songwriters and everything. And you know, I think one day we went over for a picnic. I think it was something we went over for, or a cookout, I should say. And that was all cool. And then a few weeks later, of course, we were at the table, and we weren't married yet. But at the time, you know, we're very, you know, on stage.
If you don't know,
he is Daryl Hunt, and I am Sylver Logan Sharp. Period. End of story. None of that mushy stuff. We don't do none of that. We don't talk. None of that. That's private. They ain't none of their business. If they know us, they know. If they don't, they don't need to know.
I wish you.
And so we're at the table, and when I say at the table, I mean at the meeting. And you know, one of the producers says, you know, we're Sylver's boyfriend. I said, no. His name is Daryl Hunt. He used to be Daryl Hunt.
I heard that.
Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
And from that point on, and I said to Daryl, I said, and that is why they don't need to know that. Why do you need to know? I wasn't at the table
at the time.
Right, he wasn't there. He wasn't in the meeting. But
everyone commands their own respect.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And it's those kinds of things that, so now even though we are legally married, we still keep a border around it a little bit, because that's not where I want your focus to be.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No favors
like,
here.
that's the cute part. I want you to be, wow, you know, and we're just.
That's got to be important. That's got to be so important to your relationship, though. I mean, in terms of like, you know, once you're off stage and at home, you feel like you have that respect between each other, so you don't feel like you're stepping on each other's toes or pushing one person up or down. You know,
out here, I'll go one step deeper than that. There's a guy out here, can't remember his name, of course, VO artist. He does the voice for, I think like Winnie the Pooh and Tigger Tiger and those kind of Jim Cummings. Okay. When you call him to work, you talking about a divided house. You call to hire Tigger, you hang up the phone, and you call him back to hire Winnie the Pooh.
Really?
Or whatever thing. There's no this and piling on. He has 3 distinctive characters that are going to go to work that day. So there's no favors later.
I love that. I love that.
Absolutely.
So does Daryl have one line and Sylver have another line?
Well, we do have 2 different phone numbers, but more. I guess we kind of do. We do even the landlines, but
we do.
But we have. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say. It's hard to say because people will call me and say, hey, I got this song I want you to sing on and blah, blah, blah. And listen, and if Daryl's, around.
Yeah.
Like,
Is he free?
Right.
So wait, I got to say
I'm
this.
like, if Daryl's around, of course he's around.
Right.
But you call him and ask him, do you want him to play on it?
Exactly.
Right.
Something that was really slick. So last year we had an opportunity to perform in South Africa. So John Stoddard.
Sure.
One of my favorite people.
So John and I have known each
By
other.
the way, your Facebook could be my Facebook. They just switch out the faces. You know all the same people I know.
Right.
Yeah.
Top to bottom. It's just, oh yeah.
Y'all
We have
probably
like 585 in common friends or something like that.
So check this out. So John calls Sylver. No, he calls me. He calls me first to ask me if Sylver would be down to do a gig and if she would.
Would I sing background?
Would she sing background? Or does
it's
she
like,
do
I know
that
she
anymore?
doesn't really do that.
And I was just like, well, it depends on the artist. And he said, the artist is me. I was like, well, Sylver loves you, so probably, but you have to call her and find out. So he calls Sylver to find out if she'll sing background. So you say.
And I say, well, yeah, I'm like, but wait a minute. Then he's like, yeah, because see, I need Daryl to MD the gig.
You think Daryl's available?
Like, really, John?
He said, so if you go, that means I can now call him and say,
him.
because I need you to MD the gig.
Okay.
And I was,
man.
pretty slick.
That's A and B selection on a whole nother level.
Right.
Now I got to say, one of my favorite gigs, we were all playing together. It was on Capitol Jazz Cruise, 2010, I think. Gospel According to Jazz.
Everything.
Yep.
Kirk Whalum.
Yes.
I'm playing
my
B3.
birthday twin.
So here's what's so crazy. I'm playing B3. John's playing aux. George Duke is playing main.
Man, brother.
Marcus.
No, but I know y'all came in and did a selection.
Yeah.
Layla came in and said, because it got so crazy on stage that I know that I think one or two of you started pulling out your phones and was just filming from
Yeah,
there.
no, it was all star.
Great.
It was like that moment.
It was
like, wow.
so good.
Wow.
Yeah. I will never forget that.
So
Oh,
I'm going to wrap this up with controversy.
Uh-oh.
I got controversy.
You got controversy? Okay, my controversy and your controversy. So
Come on.
Oh, word.
you guys have just proven to me how creative both of you guys are. Who's the most creative?
It's not controversy.
That's what I was going to say.
Whatever.
Hey, controversial. You looking at him, baby.
Who's the most creative?
We have our
No,
shocking moments.
yeah, I just as a layman, it's Sylver has every facet of creativity coming out of her. By the way, Niles's necklace of your silverware.
Yeah.
What?
Most
I gotta
Right.
figure out how to order that. That is so funky. I was just like, yes, that will be ordered.
Yeah.
I know you wear cufflinks. You wear cufflinks,
Yes.
yeah?
Yes,
Yes, all
got
of
you.
that. That's all I wear.
man.
All I wear.
That-
So we're saying that Sylver's most creative, Daryl?
Oh yeah, it's not even close. It's not even close. And Daryl's a legend, but Sylver, she's like Picasso, and she is.
Hey.
Anybody listening to this besides me, anybody at all?
Got
We
you,
get this-
babe.
can I get a quote?
Our dog is.
No, I know our dog is sitting here
Oh,
like,
he's
yeah,
asleep now,
yeah.
but
No, I really appreciate that because I take very seriously, the things I'm good at and the things I am not good at.
Mm-hmm.
And for example, I have this, we just finished a video shoot Saturday for a new song that I have called Posted Up Boo, right?
Mm.
I know you're thinking.
That was the original reaction when we were recording too. It was so
I know
hilarious.
it's hysterical.
But it's incredible though.
It's a rant that turned into a really cool song over kind of a go-go pocket.
I love it.
Wow.
Because I kind of have this love-hate relationship with social media. So I because sometimes you feel like the bane of your existence is how many followers you have. And it's like, sorry, I was doing this before we even were emailing people.
Media.
So come on.
Right.
It feels, it has that thing about it.
All in chain thing to it.
Multiple pages, one for the jewelry, one for, the TV show, one for this, one for this. Trying to keep content, the right hashtags, the right blah, blah, blah. Engaging.
But it's also important. It's so important.
So important.
It's how the game runs now.
I was having a Facebook, IG, TikTok, moment. And it turned into a song. A right cover song, I might add.
Amazing.
And we just shot a video for it. There's an animated video for it right now.
Really?
Yeah.
That we gotta see.
We have an animated video for it. There's a Japanese anime video for it. We just got a real video for it. And I have a photo shoot tomorrow. So it's really interesting that I am trying. And listen, it just came in. I wasn't trying to do this.
She was flowing for real. Like,
I was just flowing. I don't know.
I was right.
I was channeling. I was like, you got this thumping,
Missy,
thick
Elliott,
track.
What
if Missy Elliott was producing you? What would that sound like?
Wow.
And take it there, like channel that and get it off your chest. Because I had just done a radio interview and the guy was saying, okay, but you need to post more. And I almost bit his head off. I was, post more?
That's all I do.
You know?
I hate it.
And I was like, Facebook, IG, TikTok, you know, and I was like, you know, and then I started going, Facebook, IG, TikTok.
And next thing it turns into music. Okay, there we go.
And I wrote it down and I went in the booth. I said, Daryl, I need to get in here. I need to get this out of my head. I need to get this out of my head. And so I said, and I'm gonna need like 7 or 8 tracks to cut. And he looked at me. His face said, "What do you take 6?" But I said, I need like, you know, I need a bunch of tracks. And so
I love that. I love that. Lemonade out of lemons.
Right. I said, this is either gonna be really stupid or really clever.
Really hot, right?
And I started, you know, so I sang the line down. I was like, okay, next track. Sang the line down, kind of different tone. Okay, again. It's the next track, you know, and I kept stacking them in all these different voices of the attitude that I was feeling.
49 voices.
Yeah, right.
There's so many tracks.
So she's creative.
You live with a lot of women, don't you?
Right.
And I looked out the window. He was cracking
I was doubled
up
over.
on the floor.
So
and I was like, okay,
because
this
when you
might
played
work.
it together, it was a synergy.
Right.
I love it.
And it was just like,
I love it.
So I'm running with it.
No, you got to do that. And by the way, congrats on sailing. You got some good ears. We went by the same street at the same time, basically. So we both had that same energy. Congrats.
Listen, y'all sent me straight there. I said, wait a minute, who did sailing?
No. Really? I heard yours. I was like, oh, see, that it was right. No.
Y'all should have a sail off. Let's have a sail off next time we get together.
This is Sylver's world.
Well, listen, you have to know. You already know because I will ruin your time frame talking about how much I love every single one of y'all and how much I've been a fan. And you have no idea. You all, every single one of you, you're singers. I mean, you're the type of singer that you can't help but learn from.
Oh, thank you, sweetheart.
I've seen you all many times, and it's never enough. I get something different every single time. He'll tell me. He's like, nah, I'm going to have to hear this all day.
We were trying to get you
I know. I was trying to get all of you for my wedding because my dream was to have all of Take 6 sing my whole thing.
Would have loved to.
Wow. That would have been nice.
Did you get your 10-year yet?
Yeah, no, but we're only at 3 years. We've been together for 20 years, but we've been married for 3. You know, paying for record video.
By the time you get to your 10-year, we'll be very reasonable.
But check this out, though. So I wrote an orchestration for her to walk down the aisle, though. Yeah. So
Mark did send me.
We're living in our own time.
Yeah, Earth, Wind, and Fires. We're living in our own time.
I love it.
Wow.
I will have to send you. I will have to repost. I think we posted on the anniversary, but I'll repost it because I don't care if I get Alzheimer's. I will never forget that as long as I live.
I love it.
That man sang me down the aisle, something fierce. And my reader, Victoria Purcell, and Christy DeShiel backed him on the vocals. And when I tell you they sang God down in that room, oh my God, we were outside, okay? Yeah. And it was fabulous. It was absolutely, he represented.
I love it. How are we doing on time? We could go on for 2 hours.
Well, I'm going to wrap it up because I know you guys have so much and I would love to sit here all day, but I know that this has been valuable to everyone who's listening because I'm sitting here just going, this is amazing. So I want to thank you, Sylver, and I want to thank you, Daryl, and I want to thank you all for coming today and sharing yourselves and
Thank you.
Being amazing as you always are.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I really, really do. Finally,
many years of success to you all both.
You know, all hail the voice. All hail the voice. Thank you, Kennan. You are just amazing. I see you now. I'm a little jealous that you was all over in the islands and things. And
Where'd you go?
Oh, we went to St. Croix, but I'm actually trying to do some business there, so I'll keep you posted.
So in other words, she got to take us with her next time she goes.
That's right. I'm trying to do business there, so I'm going to keep you guys posted, doing some media marketing things over there. So
I love it.
Family is all St. Martin. That's where we're all from.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I knew you had some kind of island hustle in you.
Yeah.
Are you really?
Dad in Montserrat, tiny. Yeah.
I knew it. By the time I got to the fourth description on what you do, the fashion and the music and the dance, I was like, oh, this island. There's got to be some island in here. She got too much hustle in her.
You already know.
Well, once again, appreciate you guys.
Thank you so much for sharing. I'm pulling for you guys. Stay healthy. Stay inside. Keep being creative and keep reaching for the stars.
Amen.
Back at you, double. Spread some around to everybody on the good side. You know what I mean?
Spread that love.
See what I did
Spread
there?
love.
Wow.
And keep sailing. And keep sailing.
I really did. I really did.
And thank you all for being on another episode of Making It.
Yay! Thank you so much. Keep making it, please.
Yes.
Keep making it, y'all.
Yes.